Nigeria is a nation that is richly blessed in human and natural resources. There are individuals who have given of themselves and are still given to ensure that Nigeria retains her glorious image on the continental and on the world stage. These are the individuals that we seek to celebrate week in, week out, being trailblazers in their various fields of endeavor, as we welcome you to another beautiful time on Executive Discourse. I am Ololade Adeniji Adele. On this week's episode of the program, I have with me a woman who has given of herself. She has made Nigeria great at the national, the West African, and the world stage. She is indeed an Olympic silver medalist, and well over 20 years ago, she made a record that is yet to be broken even as we speak in the 400 meters race. Please join me as we welcome the ageless, the delectable, Falilat Ogunkoya Omotayo MON. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
It's good to meet you finally. Yes, well done.
Gerald Miles Clark. Yeah, we saw her the other night in the 800 meters, and what a race she ran, Marty McCory.
Well, she came up on the short end of a great stretch run with Maria Matola. Gerald is now the best American at both 800 meters and 400 meters. But in this race tonight, her immediate problem is going to be on the lane outside of her.
That would be lane 5, Carol.
Falilat Ogunkoya, the bronze medalist in Atlanta, but she struggled a little bit last year. She was 5th at the World Championships. She likes to go out fast, which might help Gerald a little bit. She'll take the race out. She went to Mississippi State and now lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Fair start. Lane 4, Gerald Miles Clark. Lane 5, Ogunkoya of Nigeria.
And as I said, Ogunkoya is moving very well, but interestingly enough, Gerald Miles is letting her get away a little bit. On her inside is Sandy Richards of Jamaica, who is a silver medalist last year at the World Championship. She'll be tough also.
Ogunkoya with the lead. Gerald Miles Clark is making some headway right now on the Nigerian.
And talk about headway, it was last night that Gerald Miles came off this turn in the 800 meters into the headwinds. She might be thinking about that. Let them go out fast. You need it in this home stretch as they're into about a 1 meter per second wind.
Ogunkoya of Nigeria has the lead. Gerald Miles Clark, who had silver the other night in the 800, looks to have silver again in the 400 meters. As Fali Ogunkoya of Nigeria wins it in a time of 49.90, and that is a new Goodwill Games record. Fali Ogunkoya taking the gold medal in a new Goodwill Games record. Gerald Miles Clark with the silver medal.
Let's start as we usually do on this program because it's important that our viewers know exactly who Falilat Ogunkoya is. So tell us about your background. Where were you born, when, and your early years?
I was born in Shagamu. My mom is from Shagamu. My dad is from Odelemo. And I went to St. John Anglican Primary School in Odelemo. And when I finished, I traveled to Ife, for my secondary school. But as God is going to, what happened is going to happen. My dad wanted me to come back to Odelemo again for me to start a secondary school. They just opened a secondary school, which is, for us to come back. So he brought me back. But while I was in primary school, I was competing with my sisters, 2 from my mom, 2 from my stepmom. So 4 of us are the one running for my primary school.
Oh, 4 sisters from the same father.
Yes.
Wow.
I was the youngest among the 4, so I will run the first leg, the second leg, and that is how I started. But my game masters knows me when I was in primary school. So when the secondary school now that is going to start from Odelemon, then my game master was brought to my school. So he said, let's just run, and then he drew a line, and then we all ran, and then they said, okay, 4 of you is going to be the one that's going to be running for the secondary school, and that's how I got started.
So you got started actually from primary school?
Yeah, from primary school.
Wow.
But it was something that nobody really knows much about it until I get to my secondary school, and that's why I started running the yam baiting. We call it yam baiting. That is 4x1. We go to school, we just travel around, going everywhere to run.
Okay, so that was for secondary school.
Yes.
And you started athletics that way. Tell us about, yes, your teenagers.
Yeah, when I started athletics, I was playing table tennis at the same time.
Oh. And
became the fight between the 2 coaches. And they have to they brought me to Abeokuta that, you have to pick one. What do you want to do? Because when I go to run, the table tennis coach will be fighting my coach that, where is Falilat? Saying, oh, she's playing table, and, so it becomes a problem. So I know that when I'm running, that is where I know I'm free. I know nobody can touch me. So I said, let me just, and I just begged the Coach Toyin. And
that's the table tennis coach?
Yeah, that's Coach Toyin. And then Coach Efwakwe is the athletics coach. And I will just go and, I want to just run. I want to run. And he said, it's okay. And that is how I left for Lagos.
This was at what age?
I was very young. I think I was about 11, 12.
When you took that decision?
Yes,
that you were going to run?
Yes, I want to run, Because you see, when you see my game master, the way my game master started the journey, the way, he goes to my parents, for my parent to let me just let her run, And I think he was a triple jumper, and he would just come to my house in the morning. He would run with me to school. He would do so many things with me. So that gives me opportunity oh, yes, I want to run. So anytime we are, then there's much competition. We have this guy in Shagamu, then his name is Adesonya. He has this, we call it Ororo, So that is what the guy just brought out his money to support the competition. And that is how I started running the 100, 200, 400, 4x1, 4x4, long jump, triple jump. For me to do that, I have to be the best athlete. So anytime there is competition, when I'm running, when they say you have to do that one, if you do that one, you'll be the best, So what am I going to do? I said, okay, let me just try, just get the kick out of it and just having fun of it. And it became something that I was really pleased with, inside. So that is how I got started. And then when I finished secondary school, I traveled to Lagos to go and stay with my sister. And my coach, Efwakwe, came and said, Fali, what happened? I said, I finished school now. He said, you finished school? Where about running? I said, Coach, I beg. So, and then he just tried to convince me. He brought me back to Shagamu. Then if you see Shagamu Stadium, there's a outside the stadium, we have all these trees inside. We can run underneath. So we started running in there. And then that is how I got started, And then he said, why don't you go to teacher training? I said, teacher training? He said, and my sister, she's in the teacher training. And she told me that, don't come to teacher training. I said, why? They said, the way they punish people there, you, yeah. I said, okay. But my coach was insisted that I should go to teacher training. And that is how I started. And then I went to teacher training. And then I made the team to go to, at first I made the team to go to Bendel 81, but when I saw the way they were trying to run, I was looking at myself, am I going to run with those people? No, coach, let me go and run 3,000. And they said, why are you going to run 3,000 when you are training for 100 meters? Exactly. So when I will run the 3,000, I'll be, when I'm running, I will stop. I will be walking again. And my coach will be looking at me and say, look at you. You left your event. You go to another event. I said, let me do short put. All these people, the way they are stretching, I don't understand the coach. Coach said, this guy. And then, but when 85, 86, when that time comes.
That's the sports festival,
the
right?
The festival in 85, I was in teacher training then. So I went to all secondary school, teacher training. We have collegiate. We call it collegiate, intercollegiate. So I went to intercollegiate and I left from there and I went to Ilorin to go and represent Ogun State. So that is when I won the 4 gold and everybody was like, who is that guy? Who is this guy? And that is how my athletics career started.
Now, you were involved in quite a lot of, races. You were doing the 100 meters, 200, 400, 4x100, triple jump and so much. I'm wondering, did this not negatively impact your education?
No, the way we were doing it then was very nice. It was very nice. I think, it gives me so much concern. I wish we can just roll it back a little bit and we can go back and going to school, doing the competition and the coach, somebody is there to maintain them, to see the way we are doing it. I think that one really helps me a lot.
Okay, so you were able to strike a balance.
Yes.
Between education and sports.
Yes.
Now, I know that you represented Nigeria at the National Sports Festival. And of course, when you won that the 4 medals, that was when people actually began to wonder who the girl Falilat was. How did you now get to take your sports, athletics, out of Nigeria?
That was very unique because people asked me before that I want to go to US, like, US again. I cannot leave my mom. And anytime I'm going to competition, my mom will follow me to the airport. Wow. And everybody will just be laughing at me. This one where your mama come, bring food for you. Now, wow, So I was so much because I was the last born of my mom. So I was just close to my mom. And when I saw everybody kept going to US, I was like, this one has gone. That one don't travel. This one have gone. So I like, okay. I got my visa in 1986 when I came back from World Junior. I got a gold in the 200 meters and I was so happy and I got a visa to go to US. So by January 87, I left for US.
Now you left for the United States. Was it to go and compete? Was it to go and get an education? Or what exactly was at the back of your mind when you were leaving?
My back of my mind was just to finish. When I finish school, I'm coming back to Nigeria.
Oh, okay. It was to go further your education?
Yes, just to further my education because the coach, I think they saw me, when we were at the World Junior in Athens, and that is how they gave me a scholarship. I think I got 2 or 3 I-20 from schools. But I decided to pick Mississippi State because the Coach Kitchens was very nice to me, and I picked the school. Everybody was like saying, you are going to Mississippi State, but not knowing that some few Nigerians have been in the school before, So that really helped me too. And that was it. And I just started my, going to school, competing, and that really helps in 1987 when I went to All African Games. Yes, that really helps a lot. And thank God I made that decision to go to to US. That really helped me, you know, because they brought the best out of me.
Because I was just going to ask that, you know, definitely what you were exposed to in Nigeria would have been totally, totally different from what you met on ground at the Mississippi State University.
Yes, yes.
What was it like there?
You know, I was very, it was weird though, but because when I got to that school and it was snowing, you know, I was like, snowing.
Okay, you went in January, that's
yes,
true.
It was snowing. And they said it never snow. It doesn't really snow in Starville, Mississippi. So when I got there, it was snowing. I was like, I know when you are going to the US, you left all your clothes in Nigeria. And I went with one or two clothes, you know.
My.
And I was thinking that everywhere is like Nigeria. Like, I didn't know that there's another place like there's going to be snow there. But the coach really helps me. He gave me some clothes. He gave me some, you know, some things to wear. And it really helps me a lot.
So in your training, I mean, you were getting what course did you study there?
Physical and health education.
Education. So in getting an education while you were at the Mississippi State University and practicing sports, especially athletics, were you exposed to competitions while you were there, or it was basically just in school?
No, you sign every year you have to renew your contract. You sign with them, you know. Yes, but they will make sure that they let you know that you are here for school, but not to leave one for one. If you don't do well in school, you cannot compete. So if you don't do well in school, everybody will know that what happened. So you have to manage the both together. When you are having problem, there's a place you go. You go there every around 2:00. When you finish, you know, we finish the class. No, we finish training because we have to take class from 8 to 12, 8 to 1, you know, because I'm an African woman. So I have to get up very early. So we have to get up, you know, go to class and then come back and then go to training. When you finish around 6, 7, you go to a place that you can sit, they can teach you, this is how you are going to be, because they don't want you to miss, you know, to miss that year for not competing. That would not be nice for the coach. So it's something that we have to manage. It was very nice.
Marrying both education and athletics. Okay, so when you went to the All African Games.
Yes.
Take it from there.
Yes, 1987 I came back, you know, went for All African Games. 87, 88 we went to Olympics. We are the one that boast the most stuff in Olympics. No single medal. No single medal. And you know, Chief MK Abiola was so nice to us. He gave us $200 each, all our athletes. But it was very sad because nobody
got any medal.
No medals for us. But that was really acquired everybody to work hard in that 1992, 96, now, you know, going to this, the way we were now.
In all of this, you mentioned something earlier that one of the reasons why you decided to pick athletics was because of the way Coach Afuakbe, right?
Yeah.
Was, you know, pushing you on. What measure of support did you receive from your parents to go into athletics?
So going to the athletics was not, you know, as long my game masters, where we go to my parents for them to let me just go and run. And my mom was worried because I was born as a premature. So she was worried. And my father was like, you know, maybe that is the way the gods want her to go. Why are you stopping her now? And my mom will call me inside and be praying that God will help you, all this one. And when I got that scholarship, and it was very nice, it was ice on the cake. Because my mom has been praying for, you know, scholarship. And my sister would say, you see, now that she have gotten the scholarship that you have been praying for. And I thank my sister, you know, she paid for my sister paid for my ticket for me to go to US, which has, you know, for her doing that was very nice of her. And that is how everything got started. And I was, you know, but it really gives me a push. In 1992, I was pregnant with my son. And watched the Olympics. I was like, wow, everybody was running, jubilating after they won their, the bronze, the silver, I was like, wow, this is very nice. So, and that, gave me a really, wake-up call for me to like, maybe 96, maybe I will be in the Olympics. So that is how I got started coming back.
You had your baby. Your mom was not there, right, to take care of the child. So how were you marrying, running your home, taking care of your baby, and trying to bounce back in athletics?
I think it was tough a little bit, but what can you say? You want to do something, you want to do it. If you set your mind to it, you will do it. If you put your goals, this is what you are going to do, you are going to do it. So I just called a few people. I think Jude Moyer was just arrived Mississippi State then. And then she will just watch out to junior when I want to go and run. But it was tough because I had to, running was very hard, because I have to jog, I have to come back home. But later I went to meet my coach, and that is how I left Starville because I've already finished school in 92. I've already finished school. And then I moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico to go and be running, So my son was with me, and then that is how it got started. It was not easy, but when it turned almost 2 years, I said, you have to come to Nigeria. And I brought him home.
Moving on to the 1996 Olympics, you won that silver medal. And how did you feel? What did it do to you winning an Olympic medal?
Winning an Olympic medal, when we run the 400, the open 400 meters first. When I crossed the line, and I just gave everything I have in me for me to, when I finished it, I was like, wow, and I look up and I saw like I was in third. Couldn't say much because I was very happy.
He goes from lane 2, has to qualify by running in the first 4. She can do it. Poetska's got out pretty hard too. Now in lane 4, Richards has gone out well. Ogunkoya's gone out very hard in 5, and Miles has also run the first 150 hard in 6. They're the big guns. Miles of the United States, Ogunkoya, Nigeria, then Richards of Jamaica, and Poetska of Australia behind those. Ogunkoya looks very strong, out after Miles with 150 to go. Richards behind them. Poetska's in a position to make the semi-final. She's moved through to 4th, giving the big 3 a big start. At the moment, it's the big 2. Ogunkoya, Miles. Poetska's almost up to Richards. This has been a good run. Ogunkoya's holding Miles, draws away. Miles switches off a little. Poetska's coming through very strongly. The time's going to be pretty quick again. And Ogunkoya 50-66 Miles, Poetska and Richards.
But sadly that my mother was not there because I think she died about 2 months before the Olympics. She died in May. Olympics was in July. But I just have to thank everybody that worked with me that time because it was very tough. The next day they called me, they said I should come and I need to come and go and train.
The day after your mother died?
Yes, the day my mother died, they said I should come and train. And I was like, train? I just, okay, let's go. And I just went and just, I ran the 500 meters. And the coach was like, did you run that race? When they saw the time, I was like, yes. And I was like, whoa. And they came back the next day again. They said, let's go. I said, don't push it. So, and they just let me rest a little bit. And that was it. I think that one hurt me because they didn't let me sit down and be mowing and be saying, oh, my mom, oh, all this. But that decision they made that time really helped me for me to go and train, just to make sure that what is going to happen has happened. Just let's go and train. And that really helped.
But did it not have an emotionally negative impact on you? Because obviously you did not seem to be allowed to grieve properly as you possibly would have.
Yeah, I think I would take that from my mom. My mom would tell me, don't let people see you in pain. That if something happen, if I want to cry, I just go inside the room, just go and cry. Just let it out, just cry, and then, you know, you move on. I think I learned that from my mom, you know, and even when I was talking, when I called people in Nigeria, I was talking, and they collect the phone, they are talking to my coach, and saying, did you tell her? She said she knows now. You know, so I think she gave me that. I learned that from my mom, that, you know, because when something happened, if I would have been sitting around Moi, and, you know, that Olympics will go by, and that, you know, all those training, that I was training in the cold weather, in the, you know, in the ice and everything will just be like, you know, and I'll be just be, you know, you'll be here today. But thank God for that strength that she gave me, and that really helps, really helps. I think we need to, like, you know, when something happens, we just let's moy around it a little bit, and let's move on. You know, because if you don't do that, good things will pass.
Okay, so still on the 1996 Olympics, because it's one of the biggest, you know, events in your entire career, winning Olympic medals then. What was the reception like when, you know, yes, the home state where you studied, where you went to school, called you back, but even from Nigeria, what was the reception like for you? How did you feel returning to Nigeria with those medals?
When I came back, my state was like, whoa. You know, we have Ewang.
Sam Ewang.
Sam Ewang was the governor. He gave me this place.
Oh, as a result of, you know, your Olympic glory.
So, and we were two that won medal. One is special athlete, one able athlete. And he gave me, and I was like, you know. So, and then it was something that really means much. I was like, okay, thank you, sir. And then he invited me to his house. And we have lunch, you know, I think we had dinner. I was very, you know, lucky, and for the parent that God gives me to manage, you know, my dad, I'm from a polygamous family.
Yes.
And my dad married more than 7 wives. And he will tell you have one mother, you have one father. I don't know how he did it, you know. He managed the homes very well. And that is what I always tell people, that, you know, it doesn't matter that you are from a polygamous house, you are from just one family. If you want to make it there, it's within you to do it.
Yes, the world of athletics is all about competition, and this woman has sure competed at different levels. Let's take a pause here. Let's get to meet some of the people with whom she has competed, some based in Nigeria and some outside the shores of this country, if we can lay our hands on them, to find out what kind of an individual she really and truly is. Let's meet our colleagues.
That time, you see, some of our family, because when Fali is trying to do this, Fali will run from Ekene to Shagamu. One of our family is inside the motor. He just see Fali jumping. He said, what happened? He said, he saw Fali. Oh, Fali is running. What happened? And that time, he's doing training. He will run from Shagamu to Odelemo. He will run from Ekene to Shagamu. You know, that time, if you want to do the sport, under most, you will do the exercise. You will live yourself, not that you will eat and eat. Fali know what he's going to eat. In the morning, he will tell you, I can't eat this time, I can't do this, I can't do that, I will do this before I do this. You know, you will just see Fali for house, doing like this. First time when he want to start self, one of my brother have table tennis. Fali will go there, he will go and play table tennis. My mama will say, hey, ó ti lọ gbá pákó o. Fali ti lọ gbá pákó o. But for all the parents, let parents put their mouth for good thing for their children. Because our mommy will say, hey, Fali, ngbà tó jẹ́ owó ìjọba ló máa ná. Ọmọ ìjọba ni, owó ìjọba ló máa ná. You hear? It's government money you will spend. Because if they send Fali to go and do something, you will just see Fali on the fridge. Just jump, put leg for up, put leg for down. That's Fali.
Well, she's a pleasant person and somebody that is jovial and somebody with her own mindset. But above all, what is important that I can say is that she's quite pleasant.
She has impacted me in so many ways when it comes to this, when it comes to life, you know, like people don't really know this, but my mom is someone who is super like, she's super competitive. And I don't know, for some reason, I picked up on that. And all through my life, I became so competitive that I owe that to her, because in life, I think people need to have that edge of always trying to be competitive. Like, like with me, anything I do in life, if I have a job or if I'm in school or whatever I'm doing, I always try to push the boundary, you know? Like, I always push myself to be better every time, you know? So anything that I do, I always try to be better. And I got that from her. I grew up basically in a house that was track and field. My mom ran track and field. My dad did track and field. So basically, I had to do track and field. That was just the way it was. I didn't really have to like think twice about it. So I just knew that was what I wanted to do. You know, like all through, like I used to watch her train and everything, and I'm like, you know what, I want to be like my mom.
Very good wife, good cook. She knows how to cook. She will not eat outside. She prepare food. When she prepare food, left over, she won't eat it again. Nutrition, very good nutritionist. Fruits, what it takes, you know, for you to be a complete champion. Yeah, so she has everything.
She's a disciplined athlete. Because if you tell her that this is what you want to do, she will listen to you. And if that thing is not correct, then you will respond, say, oh, my coach, if you do this or do this, you will get better results. Okay, I'll say it's all right. And if you tell her that, look, this is what, let's say in the training, heel clamping, she is doing heel clamping. Weight raising, she is doing weight training. And if I tell her, anytime you go for competition, discipline yourself. Don't mingle with other athletes. Because if you mingle with them, you can expect no money coach. So when you finish the competition, go and eat and rest. Prepare for the next clinic. That's how she started shining.
(1996) perhaps was and still remains the best year for Nigeria in sports all round, winning medals in athletics, winning the Olympic gold medal in football and all of that. Looking at the way our sports was administered at that time, sports was big, sports was good for Nigeria. That is not the tale we're telling today. Where did we get it wrong?
Everybody moved forward and we just stayed. All the other countries, they just look at it. Because if you look at Sydney, 2000, you know, that is when we're supposed to like wake up. We went to sleep and everybody just like, okay, what are we going to do? This country is winning medal, that country is winning medal, and Nigeria, what are we doing? You know, we have some coaches in Nigeria We call them coaches. They want to go to Olympics. They want to go to World Championship. They can't even talk to athletes. How can you take a coach that cannot talk to athletes to a competition? You have to, let them know 1 year before. This is the people that is going to be your coach. And they have to listen to that coach. They have to listen to that coach. When they know that, they will work hard. The athletes of nowadays, I think Nigerian athletes, because when I look at the world, they are training. Even the COVID, with the COVID, COVID athletes are training. And, my state, Ogun State, we have 4 stadia. 4 stadia. So I think God have helped us. We need to help ourselves. God has really helped us. We need to help ourselves. Thank God for COVID, because the minister will just go to Olympics and we just be seeing what's going on, what's happening.
You mean we were not prepared for the Olympics?
For the Olympics? Few sports were prepared, but not all sports. Because when you are going to be a president of a federation, you go in there fighting. What's the meaning of that? Why are you fighting? So I think that this now, if athletes we want to win medal in the Olympics, we need to start now. If I saw a race, last week, running 46:87 in the hurdles, 400 hurdles. Henry are making around 48. How many years ago? So we need to start right now. We need to monitor. We need to find people that wants to do. We have coaches that they want to, at least to perform. Don't put any coaches because they are your friend. No. I study physical and health education because I want to help the athlete. I want to give back because I saw the way they manage sport in US, the way they do everything, the way they in Europe, and I said, we can do this in Nigeria. And that is the main reason I came to Nigeria, back to Nigeria, that, this is I want to help. But when you are trying to help and somebody is saying, that one, it gives me much concern. And I hope that I keep my finger crossed, and I hope that we can go forward from here. We are 170-something millions in Nigeria, and I see Bahamas, I see Jamaicans, I saw what they are doing, and what are we doing? We really needed to wake up and help these athletes, because if you look at athletes, they are from less privileged homes. So we need to help them. We need to help them. They are coming up. They want to run. They are putting their effort. But in Nigeria, it's still for less privileged. In other countries, it's for rich people that have money. Those are the people that is running. Those are the people that is doing sport. But if we can do that in Nigeria, it's different, because when you see the rich, they don't want to put their kids there. We need to manage. We need to manage ourselves. We need to do that.
So, still talking about sports in Nigeria, because obviously it looks like administration is our issue here. But I look at, take for instance, the athletes and the footballers. You talked about coaches for athletes. When you bring when you bring coaches for athletes, isn't there like an imposition here? Because, pardon me, I might not understand these things, but I believe that each athlete should be entitled to pick their own coach. Or how does it operate?
Each athlete have their own coaches.
Okay.
But when they are going to Olympics, there must be somebody that's going to head.
Okay. Now, the person who is supposed to head when they are going for international meets and all that, how much understanding or knowledge do they have of these athletes that they're supposed to be working with?
The athletes have their coaches. They have their workout from the coaches. When they get there, it's for him to marry what the coaches has with the athlete. They have to sit down and look at it.
Now, when we're speaking off camera about some of the athletes that we have today, I'm looking at the likes of Blessing Okagbare, Ese Brume, and a few others who seem to be doing their best, kind of, to do well for Nigeria. But looking at their achievements, really, these athletes, as good as we say they are today, cannot hold a torch to the likes of yourself, the Chidi Imos, the Innocent Egbunikes. So isn't it a case of us probably dropping the standards here just so that Nigeria can remain on the world stage?
No, we are not dropping the standard. The standard have already been set. Even international competition have set the standard. It's for us to meet up and surpass what they have set. That is what we're supposed to do. But the problem is, even the athletes themselves, some of them want to tell their coach what to do.
Okay,
Because
they want to dictate to their coaches.
Yes, they want to dictate to the coaches. And instead of the coaches, that I don't want these athletes to just come out now, go and meet another person. Just tell the athletes the truth. This is the way it is. This is the way it's going to be. But most of them, they don't have that strength to be able to tell them that this is how it's going to be. You should be able to tell your athlete, this is how you are going to be. I've seen a coach that have given her athletes to another coach in the US because she knows that this athlete is going to get better. We need that. If you get to a stage, you know that this coach cannot take me to where I want to go. It's for you to leave the coach and go to a better coach.
So basically, like we said earlier, our challenge here is administration. In order to get our sports back to the level where it ought to be and possibly surpass it. Looking at yourself, Falilat Ogunkoya, now Omotayo, when you were starting out and even when you had started winning laurels, did you see yourself being here today? Did you see yourself achieving as much as you have been able to achieve in athletics back then?
I think I should have achieved even more. Than what I did. But Nigeria is a country that when you are running one event, keep to that event. Because when you could try to run another event now, the person there would just wahala, you say, why you come here now? Why you not stay there now? So it's something that these athletes need to know that whatever you want to achieve, just go for it. Because when you finish and that time will go by and pass you, there's nothing you can do anymore. There's nothing you can do anymore. So they need to really grab it. Yes, because now sometimes when I'm at home alone, I'm like, that time when my coach say, if I go and do, I say, coach, I will just say, but I'm here now. And it's a time limit, it's a period, when the body won't be able to go as fast as we want that body to go. So we need to, whatever they want to do, they just need to grab it and do it now. But we need to encourage those athletes. They must be encouraged, they must be supported, they must be given money, they must be, because these athletes, people are forgetting that when you close a stadium, where do they want to train? That's their office. We said there's COVID-19. Yes, there's COVID, but you are going to your office in the morning. Are you telling me in your state you don't even know the people that is competing, that is going to represent the state, represent Nigeria, that is going to represent Africa in the future? You don't know them? And you are saying this level should come to the office. And you are telling athletes to stay at home. But
I think that's a worldwide thing about athletes, not being allowed to train and all of that. That only came up with the coronavirus pandemic.
Yes.
Before COVID-19, they were given a free rein. They were allowed to.
They were allowed to. Why did they just stopped them?
Yes, and I think that's all over the world.
It's not all over the world. They are doing, if somebody is running 46 seconds in the 400 hurdles, and we are telling some of us to go and stay at home, that this is where their food comes from. We should have managed it very well. And if you don't know, call people that knows. They pick this athlete, let them come and train in the stadium. these people, let them go and play football here. Let's come and do this. You know, I've seen governors, I've seen, you know, people that are in high places, they still go out and train. They still go out and do exercise in the morning when they wake up. If that thing is good for you, the people that is doing it is good for them. That is where we get it wrong a little bit. We get it wrong a little bit. And that gives me concern because these athletes, they are training for this competition, you know, and when the competitions goes, by next year, you know, less people. Nigeria is going to be, it gives me concern a lot because when I see people, you know, they're supposed to be training, where they train, you know, there's a place you cannot train there because of your knee, because of your ankle, because of your this. You cannot do it. If you do it there, it's going to hurt. That is only thing that I have gives me concern.
So better facilities should be provided for the athletes. That's what you're saying now.
Yes.
Falilat Ogunkoya, you're obviously a woman who's passionate about athletics. It's your first love. And we know that you have a foundation. Tell us about the Falilat Ogunkoya Athletics Foundation.
Our aim is to make sure that if you want to be an athlete, we are there to support you. We are there to care for you. For the one we had last year, we have given some of them, we pay some people school, you know, some WAEC, you know, we give some people some shoes for them to be able to train. And then people that want to go to US, we're trying to get them visa, you know, to do WAEC. You know, I believe that when you travel to US or go to Europe, that will help you a lot, you know, because when you are in Nigeria, sometimes it's very difficult because you are living with your family. The food we are going to give to her, she's not the only one that is going to eat it.
Yes.
So we are trying to help the athletes, you know. So by the end of the day, they can still be an athlete, achieve something in their life.
Is there an age limit for the people you take into the foundation? And for people who want to be a part of the Falilat Ogunkoya Sports Foundation, how do they come in?
No, I think that the only way you can come in is when we have a competitions. And that is why, you know, I said earlier that it's very difficult sometimes for us to get to get somebody to come and sponsor, you know, come and give us money to sponsor competition. You know, we have so many talents in primary schools, in secondary school. And if you don't start from there, it's going to be a problem. It's a big problem. Because if you start when they have finished secondary school, they will just be like, which event? But when you start when you are primary,
nurture them from
young. So I think that will help. That will really help.
Any age limit?
No age limit, you know, from.
What's the youngest?
As young as you can be, maybe age 4, age 5, because now the way they are is much, much different from the way we are. Because then, when I was young, they would think that maybe when I'm eating this food, I'm eating this food. But now, you see the kids of nowadays, they have grown, you know, very well. So if you impact them, you know, before they are 10 years old, and then I think that will really help them.
When you won the medals at the Atlanta Olympics, that's in 1996, you said, this house in which we are is one of the things that, you know, you were given by the federal government. Looking at how the federal government of Nigeria rewards athletes, sportsmen and women, do you think this is enough in terms of what those athletes, those sportsmen and women have done for the country? Or is there any other way that they can improve in their contributions to the well-being of
I think they should have done. No, I think the government they need to do more to them. You know, because if you see the governors, if you see the Senate, they are just there for 4 years, 8 years, and when they finish, they are collecting money. And when you see people that have represented this country, that have made Nigerian proud, they are not collecting anything. It's whatever you get that time, that is what you manage.
For the rest of your life.
Yes. And this athletes. These people, those are the people that people got up in the stadium, singing Nigerian national anthem, for them because of what they have done for their country. I think they need to do more. If we do more to our athletes, you see more people competing.
And that brings me to the issue of retired sportsmen and women. It is sad to note that when sportsmen and women retire in Nigeria, oftentimes they retire into penury. They retire into lack and want. How can we stop this ugly trend? How can we ensure that our sportsmen and women, after retirement, they are well catered for the rest of their lives?
They have to be on the palliatives. Like US, they still give their athletes, their retired athletes, the Olympian, they still give them money. So we need to manage them. You see, as you've seen, we manage ourselves. We all manage ourselves. We need to manage them. I don't like it when the athlete is in trouble. Now, that is when you call the minister that is there. You call this. You want to call that one. We are not being managed. We are not managed. And that is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to manage ourselves. We're supposed to manage the athletes, the people that have represented Nigeria, the people that have made Nigeria proud, people that have said, this is my country, I want to represent my country. We need to do that. By doing that, that will really give less, problem to this, into the society.
Finally, Falilat Ogunkoya, you have done so much for Nigeria, and you're one individual that I'm sure a lot of young ones look up to. They want to be like you. They want to make a name for themselves and make Nigeria proud, just as you have done. What are your words of encouragement to them? What's your advice to such individuals who want to go into sports, particularly athletics?
If you want to go into athletics, no sport you do without that, you have to run first. Because if you are not fit, you cannot do any sport. So what I would tell them is, whatever that is going on around you, don't let that one affect you. Because if you let what is going on around you affect you, that means that's it for you. So you just have to, keep your head up, set your goals. Always good to set a goal. It's always good to set a goal. When you set a goals for yourself, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to achieve, I think that will help the individual, for that person to be able to this is my goal that I set for myself. Let me go and look at it. And you go and look at it, and then that will really help.
Set a goal for yourself. Although I said it was the last question, but there's something more I want to ask you. Oftentimes these days, when we find talented young ones going into sports, they seem to want to relegate education to the background. Is it that education has no relevance in sports, or what importance does education have in sports?
It's two together. Because if you look at sport, if you want to let education off, you have problem later on in life. And if you want to if you want to go for the education, you have, greater, less problem in the future. But if you can combine and do both, some people don't think they can do both, but it's possible. Because at that time, you don't have much in your head you are thinking about. If you just marry the education and the sports together, that will really help. That will really, really, really help.
Thank you very much,
You're welcome.
Chief Falilat Ogunkoya Omotayo MON, for being a part of this show today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
Set a goal for yourself, and once you do, you begin to work on those goals, and of course, the rest will be history, because the sky will simply be your starting point. That is what we're taking away today on Executive Discuss from our guest, Chief Falilat Ogunkoya Omotayo MON, a woman who has done Nigeria proud at various levels and still keeps on working to ensure that the young ones that are coming behind her also get to the pinnacle of the sports industry. That's the size of our package this week on Executive Discuss. Let's meet again same time next week where we'll bring you another trailblazer from another part of the country. Till then, I remain Ololade Adenijadili. Do your best to make Nigeria proud. Bye-bye.